So let's talk about the NFL Combine. Do y'all think it's a waste of time? I do. I think the end. I mean, other than having the interviews, I think the interviews are very important. But all the other stuff, I don't know. I mean, I've heard so many times from so many NFL players, like, when are you running in a straight line at 40 miles per hour on a football field? Even as a wide receiver, you're not running in a straight line. When do you just, okay, I'm going to line up, I'm just going to run straight? Even if you run a go route, you have to put on a move, you got to get in and out, something. There is never a time where you're just running directly straight 40 yards on a football field. So I don't know. And no, Cheetah does not do that, my man. That's not what Tyreek Hill does. So I'm just, in some of the drills, and I get it, you're looking for explosion and all of that stuff. Doesn't the tape tell you that? And again, I'm not a talent evaluator. I have a couple of friends that are scouts. They usually say the same thing that I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, we do it because we have to do it, but there's nothing that's going to happen in a combine that's going to outdo what you did on film. Absolutely nothing. And the scouts that I know don't take the combine near as serious as what they do film. Not even close to what they do film. But they got to be there. They have this. And maybe you see a couple of things that could translate to the NFL, that they do. And that's fine. But my whole thing is, if you run fast, did you play fast? And if you played fast, okay, that will translate. But if you run fast, but you didn't play fast on tape, then I really don't give a damn. And that's what those guys say. It's a double-edged sword, but it's all about making sense. And I just think a lot of times these guys, they put too much stock in these workout warriors. And we've seen it so many times. A lot of times it happens at the defensive end position, where you get these guys that they run these phenomenal times. And then you get them out on the field and they have no idea what a pass rush move is. They have no idea how to get off a block. They have no bend, but they ran fast and they did the 3-cone fast. Come on, man. It's stuff like that. Just put on the tape, and if the tape tells you something, go with the tape. Yes, people over here, it's more of a show voting for the combine. My thing about the combine, the interviews, I think, are extremely important. Extremely important. But think about this. Marvin Harrison Jr. is doing nothing. Now, when I say nothing, I don't mean at the combine, because there's a lot of guys that don't work out at the combine. He's doing nothing. Like at Ohio State, they're having a pro day. He's doing nothing. He's not doing anything. He just said, you all saw me play. Evaluate it. What am I going to do playing against air, running around in shorts, catching passes that I didn't do on a football field? I love that approach. I love that approach. Hey, you saw me. I can't do anything but harm myself by working out. Number one, I could get hurt. Maybe I drop a pass. Maybe I'm just not having a good day. You saw me on the football field. Evaluate it. Either I'm good or I'm not. And if you think that me running around catching passes with no pads on in shorts is better than what I did on the football field, I probably don't want to go to your organization anyway. I applaud Marvin Harrison Jr. 1,000%. I wish more guys would be that way. And yes, that's what the combine should be for guys that don't get exposure, but that's not what it is. It should absolutely be for guys that don't get the exposure, but that's not what it is. It's for guys out there. And I understand you're trying to increase your draft status. Everybody wants to increase their draft status because they want to get drafted higher, get paid more. They should. Absolutely. But what if you have a bad day that day? Then what? A lot of times the combine hurts guys because what they do at the combine, that's the last thing people will see. Oh man, he ran a bad 40 time. He slipped. He slipped down in the draft because he ran a bad 40 time. How many times have we seen that? And then we see the guy go on the field on Sunday and he's kicking ass. I mean, you know, everything shouldn't be boiled down to one day. And I get it. It's a job interview. I understand that. It's a job interview. And if the normal guy that goes to the tech company has a bad day at his interview, he may not get that job. But here's the thing. At that same interview at the tech company, did you see his work previous to that? Did you see all the work that he did up until that interview? Because if you did, and then his interview was just bad, would you still hire that guy? I'd be willing to say the tech company says yes. Because whatever the tech company did or what they saw to bring that guy in for the interview, they liked it. And so for them to like it enough to bring you in, they're not going to let just one bad interview get in the way of that. This should be the same thing, but it never is. It never is. You see it all the time. Or you see guys, the perfect example is I can never remember the guy's first name from the Jets, the horrible quarterback for the Jets. Last name is Wilson. I can never remember his name because he's so irrelevant. But that's exactly what happened with him. Yes, Zach Wilson. My bad, Zach, on TikTok. My bad, brother. How did he become the second pick in the draft? Because he made a throw in his pro day where he dropped back, spun around, threw the ball 60 yards, fading away. And from that, he moved ahead of all these other guys. And all of a sudden, everybody thought that he was God's gift to the quarterback position. All because of that. And turns out, yeah, he was horrible. Horrible. Can't read defenses. Just a bad quarterback in the NFL. Bad. But they based that off of a workout where no pass rush, in shorts, throwing the ball as far as you can and letting a receiver run under it. Impressive. Yeah, it didn't translate, did it? It's crazy. That's the thing that drives a lot of it. First of all, it gets GMs fired. It'll get you fired. Like, for instance, the guy that drafted him in New York, how's he still got a job? I mean, seriously. How many times do you get to miss on the number 2 pick in the draft? And what made you think he was better? What were you evaluating? It's weird. Somebody said he's still better than Mark Sanchez. There's a lot of us in here. I don't know. Mark Sanchez went to some AFC championship games. Now, before you blow me up, I get it. The defense literally picked him up and carried them to those games. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And Sanchez was bad. He was bad. I get it. But man, the combine is just one of those things. Like I said, it's a big time job interview. But man, I just don't think that we have to put all the. And if more people did what Marvin Harrison did and just said, you know what, I'm not working out. I don't need to work out. You saw my film. You've seen me play. How good am I? You know, I can't do anything to improve what you've already seen. I can't. You know, if you think a guy, oh man, he runs outstanding routes. He runs better routes in this workout than he did on the field. Number one, do you know what you're watching? And number two, do you even want to draft that guy? If the guy runs better routes on air with no pads, shouldn't he? Shouldn't he run better routes? I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Let's get to some more comments here. So, My man Jacob Perkins says, I know dudes don't want to risk injury, but they really need to be putting the pads on. I don't care what any offensive lineman ran in their 40. Can they run block? Can they stop a pass rusher? Yes, Jacob. Now, I don't agree with your putting on the pads part as far as working out, because you've already done that. You played in real football games. But I get what you're saying, Jacob. If my guy runs a 5.5 40 as an offensive lineman, okay. First of all, what did he run in the 10-yard? Let's start there, because that's about as far as an offensive lineman is going to get running 10 yards. How fast can he go? How quick can he get to that 10 yards? And can he run block? Can he move another human being against their will? Can he stop a pass rusher from getting around him and getting to the quarterback? Let's evaluate that. But they do it because they want to see how good of an athlete somebody is. And I remember, and again, this was years ago, and I didn't make it in the NFL. I was a 2-year starter at Kansas State, but I wasn't good enough to play in the NFL. But I remember a guy asked me, he said, well, Brian, I know this and that about you. He goes, how good an athlete are you? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I mean, we need to see how good an athlete you are. And I go, I'm guessing this isn't the only time that you've seen me play. He goes, no, it isn't. And I go, so then you do know that I got recruited and went to Xavier on a basketball scholarship, right? Yeah. I go, how many guys go to Xavier playing shooting guard as a basketball player that aren't athletic? You know what? I never thought about that. I go, I'm not saying I won't do all these things. I said, but asking me how good an athlete I am, I go, I think you guys know that already. It's stuff like that. Now, maybe my attitude didn't get me drafted. I don't know. But I just wasn't good enough. But yeah, it's stuff like that. It's weird things that they ask you. I'm like, bro, you guys know all about me. So why are you asking me what kind of athlete I am? You know that already. What, are you asking me if I'm going to lie? So, but no, it's wild. But I love it, man. I love it. I just think the combine is a waste of time. I shouldn't say I love it. I love what Marvin Harrison Jr. is doing. And I wish more guys would do it. Now, here's the thing. Marvin Harrison's not working out, not even doing a pro day at Ohio State. If Caleb Williams does the exact same thing, I would bet you every single dollar that I have that the narrative about Caleb Williams is he's a head case, he's a diva, doesn't want to work hard. All of that stuff will come out about him. And none of that stuff will come out about Marvin Harrison Jr. I just, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's wild. It is wild. Dude is just salty. He had hopes of making it. I think I made it in life, my man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm on TikTok and you're on your phone watching me. I think I made it in life. I think I did okay for myself. Everybody can't play in the NFL. Come on now. I know it's cool to be rude and disrespectful. I get it. And it's fun. But I think I'm all right. I think I did all right. I got married, live in a decent house. People like me, including you, because you're on here watching me. So, just like you. So I don't need to be humble. Or I think I am being humble. But you're still in here. And you don't have to be, my guy. So we appreciate you being in here too. But we ain't going to change. We ain't going to change. But yeah, I think it's crazy. NFL Combine, I just think that'll come out about Caleb Williams. I'm telling you right now. That'll come out about him. And then if he does the exact same thing, that will come out. And then what? What should we say? What are we going to think? He's a diva. He doesn't want to work hard. He thinks he's above the process. Marvin Harrison Jr., smart, outstanding move. Great move. It's weird. It's just weird. Part of that is not Caleb Williams' fault. So, not a lot of it's not his fault. A lot of it his dad has brought on, talking about getting a piece of the franchise and all that nonsense. You got to stop that. You got to stop that. So, my man Austin over on YouTube, in my opinion, the Stroud and the cognitive test are an anomaly. I want my players, especially QBs, to be quick decision makers with a high IQ. And that just goes to prove, here's the thing. What if people aren't good at taking tests? How many smart people do we know out there that just aren't good at taking tests? But you put them on a football field, they can absolutely make quick decisions. You know, just because you're not good at taking tests doesn't mean you're dumb. So, doesn't mean you're dumb. Austin, why am I hating on Marvin Harrison Jr.? Or did you just come in here and just decide to say that I was hating? When everything that I said about Marvin Harrison Jr., I think what he's doing is awesome. You missed that part. But you're starting with bro, so I guess I can take it from there. I get it. What do I think about Drake May? I think Drake May is the best quarterback in the draft. I do. I think he's better than Caleb Williams. I take that back. I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the draft, but I think Drake May is right there with him. I think he's right there with him. I think they're both better than Caleb Williams. So and here's the thing. If Drake May is trash because he's played no good defenses, does that make you trash because you haven't played against anybody any good? Or does that just mean you haven't played against anybody any good? I'm just curious. I know it's cool to get on and to say, oh, he's trash. He hadn't played against anybody good. Well, does that make me trash? For instance, was Michael Jordan trash when he was playing against the worst team of the league? Or was he just playing against the worst team in the league? Just saying. It doesn't make you trash because you're playing against bad competition. That doesn't make you trash. Just the same way as you're not as good as somebody else because you played with good players. Oh, he played with good players. He's not any good. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I am. It just means I play with other good players. So that's all I'm saying. Mac Jones and Drake May, they don't have anything to do with each other. Stop. Just stop it. So, and what does Mac Jones and Drake May, they don't even play alike. So making that comparison is wild at best, but we'll let you make it, my man. We will let you make it. We appreciate you being in here. Pat Cockrell says, am I the only person who thinks Caleb Williams will be good, but not the prospect that he's projected to be? I think he'll be good. I think he can be great. It's tough if he goes to Chicago to be great, though. I mean, when was the last time Chicago been any good? When is the last time Chicago has developed a quarterback at all? Whew. I mean, never. I can't think of anybody. Hold on, wait a minute. Austin Hunter on TikTok said that Mac Jones, who's like a statue, and Drake May are carbon copies? Look, I try to be nice. I do. But if you are saying that Drake May and Mac Jones are carbon copies of each other, please just go watch some more football. Will you please do that? Or was that just the cool thing to say so you could argue on TikTok? I get it if that's it. I totally understand. But I'm just asking. If that's what you really, really think, I'm okay with that. I would just suggest that you go watch more and then you'll understand that they're not the same player. That's all I'm saying. See, I'm growing. I'm growing. You know, if this was a few days ago, I would have called you the dumbest person in the world that doesn't know anything about football. I didn't say that. I'm growing. I'm trying to evolve, people. I'm trying to evolve. So I'm just evolving. My man Austin over here on YouTube, Caleb Williams seems to have a mental or emotional risk, but nothing physically or talent wise. I don't know. I mean, people are making a big deal about how he lost the game and went and cried on his mother's shoulder. I don't know. I mean, maybe, if you're invested in something that deep, and remember, what is he, 20 years old? Hell, I lost the last game of my college career, or not even the last game. I lost the game to go to the national championship. I cried. I mean, I was upset and I cried. Now, I did it in the locker room, but that happened. I was upset. So I don't fault somebody for being upset when they lost the game. Some people are just emotional. So some things are just emotional. So I don't fault him for that. So my man Darren Howard always coming up with good knowledge. CJ Stroud didn't test well. How did that work out? Exactly, people. CJ Stroud didn't test well. And lo and behold, he's a top 10 quarterback in his rookie year in the NFL. It worked out. It worked out. So it's not, everything's not always what they seem, man. Turn on the tape. The tape tells you more. Or, especially at the quarterback position, just get him on the chalkboard. Get him on the whiteboard and let him tell you what to see. Get him on the iPad. Let him tell you what they see. Don't just, oh, well, we gave him this cognitive test and he didn't do well. Hey, man, maybe he doesn't care about that. Maybe he just cares about, I can read every defense that you can throw out there. I can recognize any coverage, even if they try to disguise it. I can do all of that. I can break it all down. Is that what you want as a quarterback? Or do you want to see if he did well on this test? And I know, well, they go hand in hand, Big B. They can, but they don't have to. They just don't have to.